or it's a self-hatred scenario, but to actually tie it into, there's layers to that. Being bad is good. I hate to be it, but here I am, and I'm back again. And then you got to deal with the story. And then at the end, you're taking everybody right to the end as well, where you couldn't be facing down any more of the criticism, both self and by others, that you faced throughout your career. I mean, it's the ultimate kind of acknowledgement, isn't it? This part of the song, right at the start, like meeting a maker, almost, really. Was that kind of the inspiration behind it?
I mean, it's kind of like saying, like, all right, if you're gonna go down this road and you're gonna call it this,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and this is gonna be the title. This is all of these things coming back on me.
Just lay it out there right from the start.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. I mean, I love that. It's an amazing opening to the record, and it's really ambitious as well. I mean, in terms of the 2 parts and 3 parts. So you set the bar really, really high, and then from there we go into Rhyme or Reason. And I mean, I love that beat. I just love the big sample, the use of it, and the first time you referenced Rick Rubin as a producer on the record. I mean, when did you first have the idea of working with Rick?
Well, it was. I mean, I've always been a fan of Rick. And my manager, Paul, had been talking to him, and Rick had expressed that he had interest in working with me. And, when Paul brought it to my attention, I was like super excited, just, honored at the fact that he was even thinking about it, you know. And, was a little, I had my reservations just because, I felt like I'm a super fan of Rick. You know what I'm saying? So I'd probably be a little nervous, and I don't know what the vibe would be, just because I would be, wanting to impress him. You know what I'm saying? So it was very much kind of like the feeling that I got early on with Dre.
Had you met him before? Had you met Rick before?
I hadn't met him.
Right.
Nah, I had never met him. So I was like nervous to meet him, and then, even more nervous to work with him.
So, but you were saying same thing as Dre, like when you first, all the way back, same kind of experience as when you walked in the studio and saw Dre that time, and just...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm still always in my head. I'm still always trying to impress Dre, too. To this day at the same time. But yeah, I just kept thinking like, well, if I get in the studio with Rick, what if we're not able to come up with anything? What if we're not? You know what I'm saying? Like all these things in my head, and then when I met him, it was like the guy's so laid back that it made it easy. And his vibe in the studio was just like very much like. I don't know how to say it. Like, try whatever. Don't be afraid to try whatever, even if the idea in the beginning is stupid.
Yeah.
Because a lot of ideas in beginning stages, not mine, of course. Mine are just insane from the moment I think of them.
Of course.
But sometimes ideas, they're not always the greatest.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Don't be afraid to fail, basically, to get somewhere else, to get on the journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you say one thing, that's going to spark another thing to lead to a better thought.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it went. And, we started going through, like, old break beats. And I was trying to tell him I kind of had the idea. I kind of had a notion that I was maybe going to call it the Marshall Mathers LP too, but I didn't want to say anything yet to him because I wasn't 100% sure, and I wanted to make sure that I, had enough songs to even play for him that would make sense, So I kind of, we discussed like I love the sound that Rick gets when he does hip hop. Even from early on,
warm,
Beastie
man.
Boys, it's incredible. And that's what I was kind of hoping to get, was kind of like, something, like I was trying to figure out, like, how can I make the record sound nostalgic but subliminally nostalgic, not, you know what I'm saying, like not
like
blatant.
a throwback.
Yeah, so that it kind of reminded you of maybe 13 years ago, when you first heard me, but it's over beats that are even, they're older, but you're not sure why you feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Like just to try to create a feel. So we started messing with old samples and break beats and things like that, and because Rick is super like talented and mastered like every other genre of music as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like the way he dips in and out of just different genres is crazy to me. So I was, but like I said, I was hoping to get what I got from him.
Oh
So,
man, I mean, first time I saw Berserk as well, and I was so happy to see, You know, the way that you came through, and then the video, you know, with the way the colors were so reverse Beastie Boys style. It was fanboy stuff for me, you know, like, to be able to go out there with a beanie on the ad rock thing, and it was cool, man. I loved that. I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk about your work as a producer on the record, because I know on Relapse you did nothing. On Recovery you got back into it. I've always said to you, as long as I've known you or you've been making beats, how much of a fan I am of your particular music, your production, for others as well as just for yourself.
Oh, thank you.
And so to hear you back making beats again on some of the standout beats on the record for me was a real thrill. So, I mean, how was that getting back into the producer's chair and deciding to wear two hats again?
I mean, that was fun. It was fun to be able to just mess around with beats from scratch again. And you know, sometimes, like, I think Recovery was the first time that I ever got really super open to working with a lot of other producers.
Yeah.
You know, that was the most that I had ever done, and you know, aside from working with Dre.
Yeah.
You know, so on that album kind of opened those doors a little bit. So that's kind of how early on I started approaching this record or this album. And but sometimes, like, I may get something in my head, like an idea or the mood of something that I would want, and I'm not always going to get that by going through, you know, different tracks that other people have made. They don't know what's in my head. You know what I'm saying? So it's also a good way to, I think maybe it helps with diversity a little bit too, with the sound and all that. But, you know, I would get something in my head and want to be able to lay that idea down from scratch.
It just sounds like you're being inspired by rap in a big, big way. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, I know you've always been that way, but we've known each other for a long time, and I've met you at various points throughout every album, and I know that
I just met you out there. I thought it's all good, man. I'm still peeing on the floor, so.
You know, and the music reflects your headspace. It's always been very honest, not just lyrically, but also musically. I mean, there was a time when the beats you were making were all very kind of minor key and lots of strings and lots of kind of a lot of drama. The beats on here are fun. I mean, they're fat and big and, you know, rap, like inspired by hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all I do and all I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's fun for me. Like, I'm still passionate about hip hop in every aspect of it. So making beats and producing, you know, is definitely, it's fun for me.
What is it about rap that you love? I mean, I grew up on hip hop. It informs pretty much every sort of thing I've ever done in my life, pretty much in some form. And what I wondered, you know, being someone who is considered one of the greatest of all time, what is it about rap, the art form, if you can even trace it back to when you first discovered it, to how you feel about it now on one of your most rap heavy records, and, you know, just
a lot of rap.
A lot of rapping on there, a lot of words.
Yeah.
What is it about it that you love, if you could put it into words?
I don't know. I love the fact that you can. I love the expression of it, the fact that you can, you know, just, I don't know. I love I love beats and rhymes, and I love the fact that you can express yourself in a rhyme and lay it down, and it can be therapeutic, and you've got it off your chest, and then you could go on to the next thing. I don't know. There's so much shit that I love about rap. You know, I'm in it for, like I love to watch what's going on in the game and keep my finger on the pulse of that, you know, and it's exciting to watch as a fan for me too, you know, just being a fan of hip hop, and watching as it, you know, the evolution of it, and, you know, how it moves from each year to year, and, you know what I'm saying, the direction. And
are you sort of relieved that you can be that now? You can be, you know, a contender for the world's greatest rapper along with, you know, a selection of your peers, and it can be a really amazing rap record, and to a certain extent, I hope take this the right way, because I know you're still incredibly popular, #1 in 80 plus countries and huge, but the pop star's kind of dead. You know, in the sense of what people expect from you these days, isn't it? You don't have to be that guy anymore. You can just be a rapper and make rap records if you want. Is that a relief?
Well, yeah, I think so. It's one of them things, like, as far as, like, being a pop star or whatever, like, I never intended to be any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I ever wanted to do was get respect from, you know, my peers and other rappers, and all the other stuff that came with it, I was just, confusing to me. It was, I don't know, like I don't feel like I ever set out to make a pop song or a song that was gonna be some kind of crossover song or whatever. Is that for me?
Yeah, if you want.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And then boom, you did. And it didn't stop for years.
Well, boom, it happened, but at the same time, like I never wanted to. When things did keep happening and certain things kept hitting the radio and things like that. I mean, I don't think I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. Like I know when a song has a certain particular sound and sounds like, well, maybe this could possibly be a radio record, or when I'm going fuck shit ass, you know what I'm saying? And I know this will never go to radio. But at the same time, if a song starts heading that way, because a lot of times I may even think certain things when I'm writing it, like maybe what person this might connect with, you know what I'm saying? Like, and who I might connect with this song. But I never, in making any song I've ever made, I never wanted to compromise lyrical integrity, you know? And I always wanted to make sure that if I was rapping on a beat that had some kind of appeal to it and was catchy, that I was at least doing my job as an MC. And you know what I'm saying? And doing what I feel like I need to do.
That's tough, man, because you want to give as much quality as you possibly can through your music. You're not going to hold yourself back in case you get successful. But at the same time, like you say, it's never been on the agenda. And I guess in a way, that was what was part of what caused the problem in the first place, that just manifested itself over that time, huh? Like, how do I do both? How do I be good and not court this, not be this guy that everyone expects something from?
Yeah, I mean, I know that early on I went through a lot of that with the Hi My Name Is record, and it was like I never understood. Like I understood that the record was funny, and I understood that it was a little, how you say, kitschy or whatever, and maybe the hook was, the whole record was tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still doing a lot of records like that to this day that are tongue-in-cheek. But that record in particular was just like, it was almost like my anti-pop song, because it was like my hello to the world, but it was my fuck you to the world at the same time. So I never understood, like when all that started happening, was like, holy shit, how did that become a, I guess, pop song?
So when did the penny drop and you realize that the more you say fuck you, the more people are going to say, hi, what's up?